I caught up with her earlier on to talk about the album and the tour and her career. And on listening to that, is this the best her voice has ever been?
Oh, thanks, Andy. Thank you. It's interesting you say that because husband was playing different things for me before we did this record. He was playing live things. And he was saying to me, okay, so wife, when you do this, because he's a sound engineer that I work with on the road and in the studio along with his partner, Marcel van Limbeck. And he said, so when you do this, you know, it's a bit, these shouty bits, that's the effect it has. And when you do this, this is what it does. And I kind of looked at him. I said, okay, we're not getting a divorce. Thank you for pointing it out.
but it's teaching you, not teaching you to sing, but teaching you to use your voice in a completely different way to what you've been used to.
Absolutely, Andy. And you need a team. You need people around you that show you those things. And you have to be open. I think it's difficult when you're married sometimes because I feel for him. I think he gets a real look sometimes from me. I'm sure I can't imagine the raised eyebrows that he gets sometimes. And good on him because it's really helped me.
But you feel safer in that environment because you can, because as I thought, being in a studio environment, sometimes things can get fractious. And if it's somebody that you're a friend with or that you don't know too well, they could go away and go, you know, that Tori Amos, well, you know, I work with her, and there's some things that you can't say, aren't there?
Yeah, I'm sure there are many people in the film industry that think that way. I'm sure. Because, you know, when I'm in a situation, when we're talking about music and music structure, I'm not going to back down. When it comes to all kinds of things in life, I'm not going to confront it. I would just smile and say, you know, everything's good. All is well. This food is delicious. I'm fine. Because I just don't want, oh my goodness. But when it comes to music, no, I'm going to battle for it. But that's okay.
How do you think you've changed then? Is it what you're being influenced by, what you're hearing in your head? Take that in the right way, not that you listen to voices in your head all the time, but do you know what I mean? Is that the outside world can influence where you go with your music, can't it?
Absolutely. I think having a teenager, it can go a couple ways. She's only 13, so friends of mine have said, it's 13, you're lucky, enjoy it. So I've been exposed to all kinds of things because she's exposed to TV shows, global shows. She's on that computer all the time, like most kids. And she said to her dad not long ago, she said, you know, Dad, if we put parental controls on things at the house, poor Mommy won't be able to get on the computer at all.
With how music is out there these days to when you first started and when I first started to hear you, it's a different beast, isn't it?
Oh, it's so different. It's a different world. It's a different industry. You know, there are great things about the industry back then, I'd say. There are things that I had to fight for. I had to fight for the acoustic piano, vocal singer-songwriter perspective to be embraced in the 90s by the majors, because the major labels at that time said, that kind of went away in the 70s. So you need to get with the whole synthesizer world. And I'd walked down that road and had a terrible failure, as you might know, in the 80s. And that failure was the greatest gift because I stood by my artistic beliefs ever since then. But the industry, the record guys, the dudes, had to embrace the idea of a piano. And it was a fight, but they did. They did embrace it.
Back then to my conversation with Tori Amos. We're going to be talking about the film Toys in just a while, which is a comedy with Robin Williams, of which I was connected to the premiere of many, many years ago, and she did a song on the soundtrack. So we're going to get there in just a while. But this image of Tori Amos, she's already talked about having the piano and what she went through in the 80s and the 90s. How has she created that image? Is it her image or other people's?
I was very blessed by having feminists in my life that were working at the label as well as the photographer at the time, way back then, Cindy Palmano. There was women in press and marketing at the label. It was East West, so it was the Warner side, the UK. And my stylist, Karen Benz, who is still working with me now. She's African American and very strong visionary. So I had women around me that were not interested in the idea of, how do I say this, overt sexuality. That didn't work, and I don't think it works today for the songwriter poet. I think if you're an entertainer, it's a different path up the mountain. And Andy, honestly, if I had Helen Mirren's body and Beyonce's moves, then you couldn't stop me from sashaying down the street. But alas, I don't.
The new album, then, how do you feel now? Is it like sitting on your hands as the album's just about to come out and saying, I know what I've got, wait till you hear it?
You are so cute. I mean, I'm not like that, believe it or not, because I'm so close to it. I'm very close to it. We just finished it. Literally 3 weeks ago it was mastered, and now it's in the hands of all the media. It was only 3 weeks ago. You know, in the old days, it was weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, do you see, before it came out. So it's very fresh, and I had a blast making it. We recorded it in Cornwall. And there was just me, Mark, and Marcel doing the record, and Tash came in and sang on the record, my daughter. So it was, I had a blast doing it, I can say that.
So do you just want to get in front of people and sing it now?
I do. I'm excited. I'm going to do 80 shows with the crew. We're taking the keyboards out, and I'll have to rearrange things live because the album, as you know, there are a lot of involved arrangements on the record. But the live show, you'll hear more where the songs came from and how they were originally written.
And also, how do you edit your live shows with the body of work that you've got? Do you know the order now of the songs for that show, or will that transpire over 2 or 3 dates?
Okay, how it works is when I'm out on my own, which I'm going to be, I'll have a repertoire that I'm working with. But sometimes it is random, Andy. Sometimes, honestly, it's, okay, I need a mid-tempo song that it's in 3/4 or 4/4 or 6/8 or whatever. And then I'm just pulling things from the catalog because there are hundreds of songs now. And so sometimes it's, okay, we'll do that one, or we'll just do that one. And it's really that random. Then when I'm out there, so I'm pulling something from each album, if you see what I mean, that will make up the show. I'm stronger on the back catalog because I do know that people that come to the shows, they want that. They want those songs. Under the Pink is 20 this year. So people are asking me for those things. And as the tour goes on, I keep expanding the repertoire. And then I get requests every day at the stage door. So I try and work up those requests if I can. And hopefully within about 10 shows, the shows are changing every night because I have enough of a repertoire to change it.
Let me pull one out of your past repertoire that I bet no other journalist has asked you about. And I'm only going to ask about this song because I actually was involved with the premiere of it in the UK. Happy Workers from Toys.
Oh my goodness gracious. That's a funny story. I enjoyed working with Trevor Horn. He's just genius. I think working with him opened my eyes to all kinds of things. And I had the privilege of working with him again on Mona Lisa Smiles, the Julia Roberts film. And he just has a way of looking at music and way of making records that is so inspiring.